Okay, so welcome everyone to the 113 Brand Red Carpet TV web series. I'm Joey Garrity. I'm a brand strategist, marketer, author, and speaker, and I worked 15 plus years in the Hollywood entertainment business, and I love spotlighting high-level entrepreneurs, like our high-level entrepreneur we're going to be having on today, and I'll introduce her in just 1 minute. I open every single one of my episodes by first giving you a download of what's coming up for me and where you can catch me next. I'll be in Ontario, London on Friday, March 24th. You can learn more about that by emailing me at 113branding@gmail.com. And also my annual event will be launching again this year in San Mateo, California on May 5th and 6th. And you can learn more about that at the redcarpetguide.weebly.com. I also start every single episode with the 113 Branding signature strategy, and here's mine today, is I want you to turn up the spotlight on your video for your company brand, because it's not going anywhere, sisters and brothers. It's only gaining more and more momentum. So I want you to be thinking, how can you incorporate video so you can get more visibility and influence out there in the marketplace? So I'm going to introduce our high-level entrepreneur today, and she is an author extraordinaire, and her name is Joy Balma. And her book we're going to be featuring and spotlighting today is Diva Up, the Good Girl's Guide to Reclaiming Her Power. Welcome, Joy. Thank you for being here today.
I'm in my Diva Boa.
Well, Joy, I am just a huge fan of yours.
Thank you.
I heard that you had another book out from Lisa Lamont, and of course I reached out to you immediately, and I was just like, Joy, I've got to get a copy. And what I want to say is that it is an absolute game changer. Game changer. Okay. So I want everyone out there is that Joy's book's going to be launching. What did you say, in about a month?
In a month. So that would be mid-March.
Great, in the mid-March. But she snuck me a pre-copy of it, and I literally sat down and I read it from cover to cover in one sitting. Like that is how riveting and how excited I was about this book. And we're going to talk more about that today so that you superstars out there, you can be incorporating Joy's strategies, techniques, and tools. So Joy, would you do a favor, and can you download us a little bit about your Diva Up book?
Ooh, yes, absolutely. First of all, I'd like to say that I am the good girl's fairy godmother. I have my magic wand here. Because the good girl needs some help. Someone's got to come along and, give her some ideas.
Well, I'll take some of that magic. You can send it on over, Joy. I'll take some of that magic.
Well, I said, first of all, I've been working with women for probably 30 years, and also working on my own evolution. So, and I didn't really think I had any good girl problems or. Right? It's not me, it's everyone else. But circumstances in life happen, and you start to do more inquiry into yourself. And also from my first book, where I was writing about feminine power, I really discovered the nurturer type, right?
Well, let's plug the first book as well, Joy. Tell everyone what the title of the first book is, sister.
Okay, so the first book is Rock Your Feminine Type to Rock Your Business.
Yeah, game changer, guys. Buy it. It's on Amazon. Go get it immediately. Huge fan of this book. Huge fan.
And you find out your feminine personality type. Are you a nurturer? Are you a leader? Are you an expert or a creative? So it's really simple, and but it's very powerful, because what I discovered is that my shadow was the leader, and in particular the diva. And so as this book was getting read and I was getting feedback and I was doing trainings, it happened that a lot of women were leaving their leadership qualities out in favor of being the accommodating good girl.
Yes.
And I said, I know I do that too. And I gotta write this next book, because there's a lot of women that are just abdicating their throne. Okay?
Yes.
And so I learned from the first book a lot of feedback I got, and so that's how the second book really was born.
It really is an extension, Joy. That's what I learned is reading your sequel. I'm just going to call it, it's a sequel
Yeah.
because it's like a layer on top of a layer. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I really encourage everyone to read your first book and get ready for the second book. Because once you identify, for me in your first book, for instance, I'm what you refer to as a success girl.
Yes,
And
yes.
yes, I'm very much a success girl. That's a big part of me. But the shadow that I discovered about myself was that my shadow was the nurturer. And so once I realized that, I put all this energy into getting my nurture up and rock and rolling. And you know what? It really turned my business around. But more importantly, I'm a happier person today.
It's balance. It's about balance. We don't want to leave our parts of us out. And I love your point of view because there are women who, have their leader up, but they don't have their nurturer. Nurturers in the shadow. So it can work a lot of different ways. But we all work with women, so understanding all these elements of each other is very important because sometimes we can't understand another woman's personality. Like, why is she like that? Well, then she's a nurturer. She's a creator. Not so much judgment.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I got from both books. But let's give everyone a little definition of
Yeah.
the good girl from your Diva Up book.
Well, the good girl is really the part of us that wants to be seen as a good person, a nice person, and we get addicted to it. For instance, what happens is we don't want to keep a boundary because we want to seem as all giving. We want to be all giving, so we don't want to create a boundary, right?
Mm-hmm.
We want to be nice and not rock the boat, so we don't speak up and tell the truth. So we're not really, although you're 100% truthful.
Yes.
And then relationships getting good. There's so many things, but the good girl wants to be good because and there's a psychology behind that, which is they want to be selfless.
Yes.
And I discovered this in myself. If you have that generosity, if you lead with your generosity, which all women have, I think, probably all men too, but I'm talking about women here. But women are in, what do you call it, from society, they learn to lead with being generous because they want to be good and they want to be liked, they want to be validated. And then we just lose out on a lot of parts of us.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a big disservice to community in general. That's what I really took away from the book. Right? Because as we are stepping in our good girl, for instance, and what I love about your books too, Joy, is that you have a way of taking us through the step by step, but also you give us a way of identifying who we are within that good girl scale, right? And where our values are fitting, but you also really lead us to the ultimate Diva Up point. And I'm going to let you share that with the audience because that was the real
What is it?
that was a tipping point for me when you're just like, guys, if you keep being a good girl, this is what's going to happen. And this is what's happening for community and everyone around you.
Right.
Yes.
There's so many different aspects of the good girl. And as a good girl writing this, I even thought, well, should I include this? Or, is this going to be rocking the boat? So I have sections about the unappreciated good girl, the spiritual good girl. Yeah. And I talk about also the feminine power shadow, which has a lot to do with why we don't want to be visible. I bet that was
right? Don't be visible, and how does that impact our businesses? Right? We don't have business, right?
We don't have it. We don't want to sell. We don't want to promote. We don't want to shine our light. We're afraid of being seen. And I talk about we get a good girl box because we're afraid of being shamed from someone's opinion if we're not being a perfect good girl. So we're afraid to shine our light and to. What I've learned from the first book and the feedback is the women don't feel they have the right to own their greatness.
Yes, exactly. And when we don't own our greatness, we're not opening the doors for others to own theirs. It's just like, well, we're not standing in our spotlight, or how you refer to it as we're not diving up. We're not diving up.
Right.
Then other people around us, they're doing the same. So it just becomes, it's just like churning inside of churning almost.
Yes. It becomes a stagnant. The good girl circle is very nurturing, but it also becomes a stagnant pool.
Right.
And we have to get out of that circle and own our patterns.
Yes, own them. That's what I really liked about your third act, or your third, the third act of the book, is that you start walking us through and you're starting like, when are you going to own it? First of all, you're saying, I'm not shaming you in understanding thyself on a deeper level. This is going to sting a little bit. And frankly, it did. It did. I was just like, whoa, I've been living the good girl life for a very long time. But it was about 2 years ago when I started stepping out of that and getting into the visibility influence game, right? But with it, I was so fearful of being criticized. And I was fearful of not having my friends leaving me and not having a tribe. But it's been the totally opposite. My tribe's gotten bigger and bigger. My business has gotten thriving bigger and bigger and bigger. It's all that fear. It's just fear. It's not even truth. It's not.
And it's fear of being seen as the bad girl. So I talk about the good girl, bad girl. if we're like, the fear of being seen as a bad girl will have us running back to our good girl box. And then we don't share our gifts, and then we don't get out and, be the change makers that we are.
The visionaries, the ones that are, again, opening doors for others to do the same. I just came back from Seattle, as you know, and I was in a room full of women standing in their spotlight, or what you would say, diving up, being divas and standing up. And it was such a powerful experience. Yeah. Everyone was
elevating each other.
I want to read just a couple sentences from your book, because I just want to show everyone that I literally have it tagged. And I didn't want to ruin the book, but I want to frame this page because I leave it next to my bedstand every morning, so I will reread it. That is how powerful this book is, you guys. This is what a game changer it is. Again, I encourage you, get to know Joy Balma. You can find her on social media. You can find her. Joy, what's your website name? What
joybalma.com.
Okay, joybalma.com. Run, get to know her, get her first book, prep yourself for this next book, because this is an absolute game changer. So here's what she says here. She says, never play small to make other women comfortable with your power. Think about it. Never play small to make other people comfortable. How many of us have done that? Raise your hand. I know everyone out there's raising their hand. Raising their hand. She says, every day we choose whether we make our lives a playground of self-acceptance and self-love, or a battleground of envy and comparison. We have the power and privilege to choose between them. It is our choice. Guys, is that not powerful? That's just one little paragraph from her book. Okay? Game changer. So I read this every day, because she goes on to expressing how important it is to inspire others. And by inspiring others, is we got to tell that good girl to quiet down and to go away, because she's not doing us a favor. She's not. She's
really addicted to playing small and being selfless and being humble. And all those are virtues. Not playing small, but she thinks they're virtues. So yes, the good girl thinks it's a virtue to be and play small. And so all of this is the psychology that we're playing out, but we're not aware of it. So the book really flushes it all out. So you're not just, I remember when I was, I've been an acupuncturist and personality type coach for 15 years, working, in a little office, and, when the economy did its flip flop, and, everyone had to sort of change things up. I realized that I'm going to have to be more visible. Okay, this is a nightmare. It's like a good girl's worst nightmare to let people see her in her power. Okay, so that whole journey really has been. I thought it was catastrophic. I really did.
Of course. When we're that heavy in the good girl, it feels like the whole world is coming down on us. Absolutely, yes.
So even though I love to teach, I don't like to, all these good girl things were embedded in me. And so, I'm walking this path. I call myself a recovering good girl. I'll always be, it's always there. But when you're aware of, I have this little mask here, all my little props. When you're aware of the mask that you're wearing, your good girl mask.
Yeah.
That's what I help women do, is to take off the good girl mask.
Yes.
So they can step into their power and to share their gifts and shine their light. and to be their
Yes.
most radiant self, and to stop putting a lid on the, the good girl box, and, no one can benefit from what you have to offer.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, by playing small or staying in our good girl. And by the way, it's very interesting in your book because you talk about how culture, our community and culture really encourages the good girl.
Oh,
Like really, I mean, they don't want us breaking into the bad girl. And here's the thing is the way you describe the bad girl, it's just like, no, she's awesome. Like
yeah,
she's
yeah,
got a bad rap, man. That's got to go away, you know?
right,
So
right.
could you describe the bad girl a little bit more for the audience out there so they can understand, so they can start owning their bad girl?
Well, it's really what we perceive as the bad girl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's all the things that a diva would do, which is to own her worth and power, and to be unapologetic about, rocking her awesome, and to being bold, to showing up and owning it, really. And it's amazing that something so simple would be thought of as a bad girl. Like, who does she think she is? And I say in the book, good girls will throw the good girl book at you if you like the rule book. Like,
Right.
you're breaking the rules here, okay?
Right.
You're supposed to keep quiet and small, and don't she's shining. That saying, who does she think she is? All that in a bag of chips.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want women to. We don't like to see other women, accepting their beauty,
Yeah.
their worth. A good girl power play number 2 is to own your worth.
Yes.
And
Yes.
we don't do it. We're just afraid. I learned that from my first book. Everyone was so excited because I talk about having superpowers, and you discover what your superpower is in the first, in Rock Your Feminine Type. And women were just like, oh, I can finally breathe. It's like, this is so true. I can own my greatness. And
Yeah.
so, in a way, owning our greatness is sometimes seen as the bad girl, Joey, to get back to you.
It is. It absolutely
Right.
is. And I like your point. I think it's a really important point. I want everyone that's watching this to really think about this on a deeper level. That what she's saying is that there will be good girls around you that don't want you to break out of this cycle. Because this is a long generational cycle. And then as you start, bringing your diva to the forefront, they will try to push you back into place again. But guys, you're not doing anyone a favor. Keep pushing into the diva, because what are you doing? You're going to help them open the door to step in their diva.
Right.
It's your birthright. Own
Right.
it, right? I talk about this all the time. It's your birthright.
Yep.
Stand in your visibility. It is your birthright.
Underneath all of this is, are women allowed to own their worth and their power?
Sure. Are they? Well, no. I mean, culturally, we're not. And so
Exactly.
we're going through a big shift right now where I can see that there's tribes of women, just like the women I was in Seattle. They're just like, I'm owning this.
Yes.
Like, if you don't like me, that's okay, but I'm not shrinking into the shadows anymore.
Right.
Because
Right.
Joy, it's impacting the businesses. But here's a bigger piece to it that I took away after reading the book, that when I was processing it, is that it makes us dependent on significant others, on husband,
right.
and it goes on and on and on. And that is the worst case scenario to get into, in my opinion. It makes us dependent.
I mean, I just gotta breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
I know there's people out there that are breathing right now because they're thinking about it right now. They're like, wait a second. It has made me dependent. And what happens, Joy, when we're dependent on others and we're not standing on our own 2 feet, or we're not in our diva? What happens? We watch it every day with women right now. What's going on with them?
Well, it's called self-abandonment and self-betrayal.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, women are supposed to take a back seat. We're supposed to, step back. We're supposed to let others go first. Well, I talk about it throughout the book. I'm sure you remember. Put other people first. And so this is the other thing that makes us a bad girl.
Yes.
Putting our needs first. Like, we don't have a right to say no, or to keep boundaries, or to tell the truth.
Yes.
All of this is, it cripples our soul. It's soul crushing.
It is, and it's economically crushing. How
Right.
many times have we heard about so-and-so's husband has left them or significant others left them and they literally have to start over? I mean, it's an epidemic, in my opinion, out there. And it's because women aren't owning their greatness. They're being too dependent on someone else.
And
Step it up, sisters. Step it up.
part of that is money. Part of that is money, because what I learned from my first book, and the women who, the leader, she focuses on money. Whereas the nurturer, that's the last thing she's thinking about.
Yeah, right.
Like, who can I help next? How can I, spend my whole day helping someone else? I mean, I'm not against helping people, but if it's keeping you from your purpose in this world,
when you can't sufficiently take care and stand on your own 2 feet.
right?
And you're not helping community when you do that. You're not being of service to your sisters. You're not being of service to your family. You're not that way. You're just not, right? When you're not owning your power. So I want to, before we end, and I'm going to have you let everyone know how to get a hold of you and reach out to you. And please reach out to Joy. Like, she's super warm and thoughtful, and she'd love to connect with you. I know this about Joy because we've known each other for a minute, but I want to read this last little passage from her book, because again, this is the page that I'm framing. I'm framing the whole page, by the way. The whole page. She talks about inspiring us. She says, "You will also receive positive accolades when you diva up." Okay, think about that, right? This is why this is such an important page for me, because that was what I needed to hear from Joy. Women who are ready to be empowered will support you. Yes, that is absolutely true. I mean, Joy and I are right there. We'll support you. We will not let you down. When one woman owns her power, she draws out other women who are ready to own their power too. Okay, pretty powerful stuff. In other words, when you own your power, there's going to be all these women that are going to start coming out of the woodwork and go, hey, I'm going to own that with you too. And we can start doing a ripple effect out there in the community and out there globally.
Yes.
And be game changers. Be the game changers. Joy, how can people find you? Like, get real detailed, sister, because I want everyone to locate your books. I want everyone to find you out there.
Well, sure, of course. Well, joybalma.com is my home on the internet. It's in the middle of a major rebranding because of my new book. So it's getting a makeover. Don't we love a makeover? But yeah, I mean, you can go there. You can go to Amazon, get my first book, get ready for my second book.
Can you hold it up again so everyone can see it again? Because I know that there's people out there that didn't write it down right. Rock Your Feminine Type to Rock Your Business.
Right.
Guys, by Joy Balma. You can find that on Amazon as well. And she is just like a little over, she'll be releasing Diva Up, right?
Yes.
My favorite new book. In a little over a month, you said, in the middle of the month or so?
Yes.
Okay. And she'll be doing pre-sales. And so she'll be adding the link to this video down the road so you can be getting your book pre-sale.
Yes.
So thank you, Joy, so much for joining me today, and everyone and all. And you're such a superstar, and so appreciative of you sharing your gifts and talents.
Oh,
sister, it takes courage. It takes courage. It takes courage.
This is the tip of the day. It takes courage. I mean, it's like the lion who gets courage, the Wizard of Oz. You got to get it to get to your goal. You got to slay your dragons, right?
It's so true. It's so true. And we're so appreciative that you jumped off the cliff and you took your courage, because you're opening doors for others, and you certainly opened a door for me. I want to thank everyone for joining us today for the 113 Branding Red Carpet TV web series. And I always end every single episode with a tip. And here's my tip, sisters and brothers. I want you to share all your wins across your social media channels. And I know some of you are out there like, oh no, I couldn't do that. And I'm like, how else are people going to know about your fabulous and your incredible talents and gifts if you don't tell them? Just share it. If you have a keynote coming up, if you have an event coming up, if someone wrote a blog about you, if you have an article coming out, share it. Tag people. Be proud. Stand in your spotlight. because it is your birthright to stand in your visibility and influence spotlight and shine bright. And until next week, I'll see you all next week, Wednesday, every Wednesday, a new episode at 9 a.m. Pacific Coast time. Ciao.